Righto boys, it's footy finals time, and I've got the perfect recipe for you guys to do at home when all the boys come over to watch the game. Instead of doing your little snag sausage sandwiches, let's spice it up a bit. We're going to do jerk pork tacos with a burnt corn salsa. Very, very simple. There's 3 parts to the dish. We've got our pork, which we're simply going to dust in some smoked paprika, salt and pepper, olive oil, and fry off. And we'll sit that aside. We'll do our jerk sauce. Now, a jerk spice mix is a traditional South American rub. Today we're going to make a jerk sauce and then fold our pork through that sauce. Then we've got our burnt corn salsa, and I'm basically going to blacken the corn, take it off the cob, and fold through with some iceberg lettuce, coriander, red onion, and tomatoes. So we might as well get started. You might notice that there is a fair bit of stuff going on. There's a fair few ingredients. This is exactly how I want you to start the dish. Get everything out in front of you, but for the sake of having a lot of space, let's get rid of some stuff. So the first thing we're going to get onto is our pork. Now, we want to use a nice lean piece of pork. We don't want any fat or sinew, so we're using pork fillet. If there is any sinew on there, we want to take it off with our knife. We want it to be as lean as possible. If you do find any sinew, we just want to take it off with our knife. So be quite careful and just get rid of any of that sinew that you can find. So let's chop it up into some cubes, and I mean, it doesn't really matter how it goes. Let's just get it into some rough cubes because we're going to then fry it off. So once we've got our pork all cubed, we're going to get our pan on. We want a nice large pan because we need some surface area. We don't want the pork to stew, so we want a nice large pan of good high heat and some colour on the pork. Let's get that on. And as I said, on a medium to high heat, because we really just want to sear the pork. We're going to then take it off the heat, make our sauce, cook that sauce down, and then re-add the pork. So now, the next step is, we're just going to season our pork. Good lug of olive oil, some smoked paprika, be quite generous, pepper, salt, and then let's just give that a good mix. Massage it. Rightio, that's looking good. Now, the next step is to fry our pork. So we're just going to let this heat up a bit, and then straight in with some olive oil, and then bang, fry the pork. Lug of olive oil. And now, nice and quick, I'm going to fry it off. You see how I've got space between every bit of most bits of pork. I don't want it to stew, so we need a nice high heat and we need plenty of space in the pan. So just let that sit. Everyone tends to play with it. Don't go getting a paint scraper or tongs in there at the moment. Let's just let that sit. It'll seal and then it'll lift up off the surface. It's not going to stick. It should be fine. Maybe a bit of extra salt. And then this will only take 2 to 3 minutes, and that's it. Because as I said, we're then going to cook our sauce, put that in the pan, cook that down, and then re-add our pork. So we're really cooking the pork quite. So just shake it around. Don't go getting your tongs in there or anything, because we want a bit of colour on it. While that's on, let's get our corn on. We've got a nice hot char grill. 3 corn cobs. Same deal. Olive oil. Salt. Pepper. And a little bit of that leftover smoked paprika. Roll that around. Rightio, straight onto our char grill. Now we want that to go black. Don't be afraid, don't think it's going to burn because it's called burnt corn salsa. So we need that to get some nice colour on it. That's looking good. It's got some nice colour, good aroma, and this is only going to be about another 30 seconds. We'll get it off. Right, that's all we need. Let's get a bowl. Our fork can come off. Turn that heat down, because now we're going to make our jerk sauce. Righto jerks, it's time for our jerk sauce. So let's clean up a bit, get some nice bit of space back, and in we come with all our jerk sauce ingredients. So boys, you might be thinking how I'm going to do this. This is ridiculously simple. We're basically going to get all these ingredients into a stick blender and blitz it up so it's a sauce. Like anyone can do that. I can do that, my mum can do that. People that can't even cook can blitz stuff up. So let's get started. We've got our jug. We've got a whole chilli, which has been deseeded. We're just going to roughly chop it up. Doesn't need to be fine. We've got some cherry tomatoes. They can go in whole, it doesn't matter. We've got a nice little bit of ginger there, roughly chopped. Remembering it is going to get blitzed, so don't go nuts, don't get it nice, don't get it too fine. We've got a bit of garlic, let's get the skin off. Just give it a quick tap on our board. Skin comes off. Just going to make me a liar. Skin comes off. In the bin. What else we got? A bay leaf. You can get these anywhere, get them from Woolies, Coles, just rip that up. We've got coriander stalks and roots. Now all I've done there is cut 3 stalks off. You need to wash these because there is sometimes some dirt in the middle there, so we need to wash them, scrape any dirt off the roots. They can go, we'll give them once over and then in. Spring onions. Now all I've done is peel that first layer back. We'll chop the roots off, get rid of that green part, use that for something else, roughly chopped. We've got couple of sprigs of thyme. Don't worry about getting the stem off or anything like that. They can go in. Nice shot. We've also got one of those cubes of palm sugar. As I said, you can get, they're in the Asian section of Woolies, Coles, anywhere. And I've just chopped that up just to give the blender a bit of help. And that can go. And we've also got our spices. We've got half a teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of coriander, and a quarter of a teaspoon of allspice. They can go in. Now, the juice of a lime. The last thing we need to do is blitz it up. So get our stick blender. If you don't have a stick blender, get it in your household smoothie maker or whatever your girlfriend's got, and blitz up. Oh, before we get that in, tablespoon of white wine vinegar. And now, here's the action. That smells so good. Get it nice and fine. And all we're going to do is cook it off. Done, boys. And girls, there might be 2 girls cooking this. Let's get rid of our blender. New pan. Get it on a pretty high heat. And all I'm going to do now is add some water to our sauce because we just want to thin it out a touch. Because what we're doing now is we're cooking our sauce. So all those spices are raw. It's like toasting off your spices. At the start they're raw. Once you put them onto a heat, they cook. So that's going to enhance the flavour of our sauce. So give our pan a bit of time to heat up. Our corn's going nicely, so that's what we want. But we want that on all sides. So give it some time. Don't freak out about that. That's good. Black is good. So leave that going. Just get our sauce in. Now leave that to come up to the boil. That'll cook it out. Then we're going to take it off the heat, make the rest of our dish, then put it back on the heat again just to heat our pork through. Man, that is. I wish you guys could smell this. That's good. Righto, clean down. Righto, let's take that off the heat now because we don't want to reduce it too much. If you do, add some more water. So take that off the heat, and now let's get onto our salsa gear. So we've got cherry tomatoes, coriander, iceberg lettuce, red onion, and the last thing we've got is, it's called a coconut sambal. Boys, it sounds, real hard. All we're doing is massaging, rubbing these ingredients together. So we've got coconut, desiccated coconut. We've got some red onion, that's what I was looking for, red onion. We've also got some tomatoes chopped up. And I've also got about half a teaspoon of smoked paprika. Now with that, we're going to zest our lime, probably about half a lime. And this is just going to freshen the dish up. We've got some nice bold flavours there, and this is going to cut through all that. So the zest of about half a lime, and then the juice. Let's start with half. We'll mix that all together. That's good. That's what we're looking for. So that can go back in our bowl. And we'll just have all this laid out on a table, and the boys can go free for all. So we're looking good now. Our corn, I reckon, is nearly done, so we might take that off the heat. Use some tongs, but these fingers have they've been through a lot, so that's all good. Now we're just going to take our corn off the cob. Let it cool, but it's fine. So we've got our corn. We want that to cool down because you don't want to put hot corn with the rest of our ingredients and all wilt. So let's get that in the fridge or something like that to cool it right down, and then we can put our salsa together. Righto, let's bring the salsa together. So our corn is cooled down now. All we need to do is bung that in the bowl. Now we've got some iceberg here. We want to get to that nice crunchy centre. We don't want those outer leaves, so take them off. And all we're going to do is shred that up. And guys, if this is going too fast for you, pause, rewind. You can watch it as many times as you want. Iceberg can go in. Cherry tomatoes, all I've done is quartered them. About a quarter of a red onion, finely chopped. And then just some coriander leaves. We're just gonna roughly run our knife through these boys. That'll do. Get them all in. Squeeze of a lime. Salt. Quite a good pinch. Pepper. A little bit more of our smoked paprika. And now, just a touch of olive oil. Righto, quick clean down. Get rid of anything that you don't need. Lime can go in the bin. We can get out of here. Because we're pretty much about to plate up. So let's get this sauce back on, get a bit of heat into it. We've got salt, pepper, can get moved. Let's toss our salsa with the burnt corn, smoked paprika, coriander, red onion, tomato. That's looking good. A bit more neater. Then, as soon as we get heat into this, our pork's going back in. We're pretty much ready to roll. We've got some tortillas here. Some plate for the pork. Just get a touch of water into that sauce. high heat, pork in, toss it around, and we're plating up. So I think you can probably tell it's a little better than your snag sandwich. There are a few components, but go through step by step, make sure you get everything right. It's all about planning, get all your ingredients in front of you, and then go from there. So the sauce is coming up to the boil. Let's throw our pork back in, give it a toss. Let that heat up, and then we can basically plate up. Righto, pork's done, it's heated through. We want to get all of that sauce all over our pork, because that is flavour. Like the smell coming off that, the boys are going to go nuts. And then lay everything out on a big table. So ad breaks, boys go get tacos. Whoever your favourite team is, if they're getting thumped, go get a taco. Tortillas, our jerk pork, burnt corn salsa, and sand bowl. Boys, this is how we do it. Oh, it's going everywhere. Finish with a touch of coriander. If that doesn't taste good, I don't know what will. So there's the jerk pork taco with burnt corn salsa. That's my little tip for the footy finals. Tell me what you think. If it's too hard, go through step by step. Write down the bottom what you think. I want to know what you guys are loving and hating. See you next time. That's it.